Welcome to our lovely late IHP show with your 5D Mystic woo-woo spiritual lovely guide for my 5D Mystics, self-help guide for those of you who do personal development and want to get that emotional plane and mental plane, yoo-hoo! So emotional mental intelligence is what they can call it, mastery. I'm going to call it true love. Because when you can be in your social engagement system, and so you have integration of brain, I'm attachment trauma informed, I forgot to mention, and this makes me empowered to share with you why I know how to be myself, why people say, why would I need you to be myself, and why would I want to be myself? And it's because if you don't love yourself first, you're going to want the whole, here's how to keep a man. Make sure to let him find purpose in life because he won't know his 0-1-year-old. That's me adding to the fact that we all have a 0-1-year-old. She is called Maria here, attached, panicky, but Maria knows how to regulate her own nervous system. I know it sounds weird, right? But this is how straightforward it gets. And oh, I forgot. Thinking is not hard. So your left mode, not hard for you to be in your brain. If you get really tired, then we got a 0-1-year-old that's not being tended to, and a 3-year-old that most likely has what is called a defectiveness shame button. Because the 1-year-old isn't being soothed. You don't know how to be your own safe haven. And so here, one of the techniques I learned, let me do it this way. There's a hug. This activates your ventral vagal state. Then there's, I want to do personal development, self-help. And if I really don't know how to get out of this human suffering stuff, the temporal junction, yes, and neuroplasticity, unfortunately, your brain is a neutral organ. It's an embodied brain. And it won't notice the difference between what was it from my NICABM courses and that lovely infographic? Oh, yes. It won't notice the difference between you thinking negative thoughts or positive thoughts. So if you ruminate consistently, you're actually using the dark sides of neuroplasticity. And that's what a lot of people do when they ruminate. They don't know that rumination means a biochemistry of fear. This is why it's hard to think, because they're not noticing, oh, look, let me soothe my nervous system first. Not with the drinking or the fucking or the drugs. No, none of that. That's unhealthy self-soothing. No, it's called, let me see what makes me happy. Happy music. No shitty music. No, because the vibe is going to keep you down and low. I know, right? Straightforward. It is, isn't it? Yeah, you know what I hear after people who have gone to therapy and they make it sacred? I don't want to do personal development. I want life now. And then you're like, wow. But if I present it to you in a way of, hey, do you want to become a successful executive? Should I blame Big Pharma or should I blame the other people? Which side do you want to be on today? Corporate or spiritual woo-woo people? So here's the thing, the beauty of being of both in all worlds, really. I've been always of both worlds. I'm bicultural. I'm an American with Italian Neapolitan heritage. Naples, Italy. It's very specific because I've noticed how all these other people who leave Italy, they want to make sure everybody knows specifically where they come from. So I decided I'm going to specifically make sure people know that my lovely mother and my biological father and my paternal grandmother, biological, Naples. Napoli, Napoli, and it is a city that represents the chaos that is an optimized system of your own embodied brain. And see, it's beautiful to know that we're always optimizing towards what is your mammalian heritage. Thank you, Jesus and God. Your restored embodiment is actually being able to conduct yourself like Jesus did and Buddha, like God taught us. We're all, made the way he wanted us to be made. But see, again, that shame button, that is what creates a very unfortunate business. So when your home is not welcoming and kind in your first year of life, you didn't get soothed, or there were things that took place in your life that made the body do the drinking, the fucking, and the drugging, or other self-soothing mechanisms. It also involves people cutting. Let's see, what else? It involves people, oh, I forgot. We've been talking about how people will do a Cusco. So they'll get upset at a person who gives them good advice for their benefit. Like my friend, the one I didn't talk to for 5 years, yeah, I gave him really good advice. He disregarded it. He hid from me. He thought it was cute and funny, and then he continued basically being a clown as his usual. I already knew his personality. But then he took it way too far, and I said, you know what, I don't do this thing, facades with actual friends. So because you're an actual friend, what I mean by that is you're a depth of connection. So as a mystic, remember, we know why we're woo-woo. It's because the actual spiritual people, the spirituality ones, we know, one, we are not going to need to prove to you anything, because the mystics that are 5D, they're all on board with Jesus in love. So where are you, Jesus? He got welcomed with mistrust, disbelief, fear, and non-acceptance. So it's really not surprising to 5D mystic that the individuals who I did get taught from them how to be a person of faith. And then I said, hey, God, your people, they're not following anything that you taught me, or that they taught me for that matter. I guess I had good catechism. I don't know what to tell you, but they're all grandiose. I didn't have the word at the time. I just said they're deviated. Something's up. There's no evil. There's suffering. Jesus talked about how to handle it. So I don't know what they're doing. Oh, and they're not sending bad people to jail. Yeah, I don't like what happens to those bad people in jail because I don't agree with any form of violence, but still, there's a law. You didn't say anything in any of your books about not creating organized institutions. Wait a minute, what was it, Jesus? You were welcomed with mistrust, disbelief, fear, non-acceptance. Why were you not accepted? What were you trying to change? Wasn't it something about money, bureaucracy? I forget. I don't remember regurgitation of material like that, but I'm going to say, 5D mystics know what faith is, like any actual person who does know what faith is. They've never called me an evil bitch or an evil witch because I'm a Reiki master and I'm polyamory. They actually say, what, you curse? You look like you wouldn't. Yeah, I say, well, when I'm trying to make a point with my community, plus I'm 44 and, what's the deal with cursing? I didn't. As a teenager, I thought actual lawyers would want to follow the law. The first lawyers I met, they did cocaine, and I said, what? And I get called gullible for that, or naive. I'm not gullible or naive. I was gullible. One of my boyfriends, he taught me that I was gullible about something. I remember that one. I was like, come on, why do you have to be right? Some people do things for nothing, not this person. Okay, fine. So, long story short, life partners. Let's talk a little. We're going to have 2 late IHP shows today. Because being yourself, well, one, this is very easy. For the ones of us who have a love button in our home, okay, so for the ones who don't, they can get a love button. And love button is basically where you go to good therapy if you want. And actually, that's really ideal for people who have childhood developmental trauma, just because of, having people that are even better educated than a life coach or self-help personal development content creator and what I get to do here. But at the same time, all those lovely therapists I learned from, the good ones, they have shared how a person, as long as they are safe with you and they can share their story and you're attachment trauma informed like I am, you'll know if you need us, because my nervous system will tell me, because that's what we are. Okay, so life partnership and spirituality. True spirituality is a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self. And that's what a integrated brain and restorative embodiment self person is. Raise your hand if you're forgiving like Jesus taught us. And we're made just the way God wanted us. We don't do the Cain and Abel thing. I told God, I said, you could have just not had them fight like that. I have a parent who, this is what it is. I'm determined. I have an identical twin, and my mother is an equanimous woman who says, okay, different doesn't mean defective. You're different. You're different, because we fought like cats and dogs. My twin and I, but we love each other to death. And so, this is the thing. I keep forgetting. I learned all about ruptures and repairing. I even got disowned. This is the last time I ever thought my thoughts or emotions were actual facts. Like, I remember it because I was like, I'm no longer a sister. I have no sister. I really believed it. And then my mother's like, no, it's okay. And God told me, and Jesus, you learned how people play life differently, Maria. And that's because I have a lovely hypnotherapist who brought me to my favorite childhood memory when I was 3, and it went all the way up to when I was 8. And when this thing happened, and then I went up to God and Jesus, and we had a chit chat. But again, remember, I'm a 5D mystic, so I'm not welcomed by some people because I'm also a Reiki master, Akashic record reader, and here, being yourself, solo polyamory. Can you imagine? They already think we're burning in hell. No, not really. Not at all. I'm a mystic. There's planes of energy. So we'll talk about that in part 2. But relationships and partnerships, we choose each other on purpose with all of our flaws and imperfections. And then we say, the ancients, the jackasses, the 7 of 14, yeah, they don't get educated. They have a lot of imagination. It's unfortunate they don't go to good therapy. The ones who do, by the way, come on over for healthy self-worth, empowering women, men, relationships is awesome. I met some amazing empowering men. I want to talk about that one because I have met more than just that. But the ones that I'm talking about, it's because I got to interview them specifically with some specific questions. So tune into IHP 2 and see you later.